Have you ever wondered how a creature as small as a bee can create something as precious as honey? It's not just one bee. It's not just in a single day. It is thousands of small actions, repeated day after day. And the fascinating thing is, the way bees live holds one of the deepest lessons about life, work, and success. This is the story of a small village where people accidentally learned wisdom from the bees. Not so long ago, there was a peaceful village nestled between fields and forests. The villagers were hard-working people, but their lives never seemed to improve. Some complained about bad luck. Some blamed their circumstances. Others simply waited for an opportunity to appear. One summer morning, a young boy named Leo discovered something very strange. At the edge of the forest sat a giant beehive hanging from the branch of an ancient tree. Hundreds of bees were flying in and out constantly, without rest. Curious, Leo sat down to watch. Minutes passed, then hours passed, and he realized something remarkable. Not a single bee looked confused. Not a single bee was lazy. Every bee had a mission. Some gathered nectar, some guarded the hive, some built the honeycomb. No arguments, no complaints. Only focus and silent work. Leo ran back to the village and told the old master. After listening, the master smiled. He said gently, "Perhaps the bees are trying to teach us something." Lesson 1: Bees never waste time. The next morning, the master led a few villagers to see the beehive. They sat in silence, observing. After a while, the master asked, "Do you see any bee flying around without a purpose?" Everyone looked closely. There were none. Every bee flew straight to a flower and flew straight back to the hive. The master nodded. Bees only fly to where the nectar is. Then he said something the villagers would never forget. Many people spend their entire lives flying to places where there is no nectar. Think about it for a moment. How much time do we spend every day on things that bring no value? Scrolling through phones, complaining, arguing. But bees are different. They only look for nectar. Perhaps we should do the same. Lesson 2: Small drops create the hive. That afternoon, Leo asked the master, "How much honey can one bee make?" The master laughed. "Almost insignificant." The villagers were surprised. "What do you mean?" The master explained. "A single bee, in its entire lifetime, only produces a tiny amount of honey. But the whole colony? They can create a massive hive of honey. Not because of one extraordinary bee, but because of thousands of small actions repeated every single day." This is what many people misunderstand about success. Success rarely comes from one big moment. It comes from small actions, repeated daily, just like the bees. Lesson 3: Every bee has a role. On the third day, the villagers noticed something else interesting. The bees performed different tasks. Some gathered honey, some guarded, some built. Leo asked, "Why don't they all do the same thing?" The master replied, "Because a hive survives on roles, not chaos." Then he added a profound thought. A strong system is always better than a strong individual. In many companies, in many families, in many communities, people often try to be more important than others. But bees are different. They focus on contributing, and that is why the hive always thrives. Lesson 4: Always prepare for winter. As summer faded, the master took everyone to the hive again. The hive was now massive. The golden honey cells were overflowing. Leo wondered, why do they keep making honey? They already have so much. The master looked up at the sky. Because winter is coming. When winter arrives, flowers will disappear, food will be scarce, but the bees are not afraid, because they have prepared. This is perhaps one of the most practical lessons. Prosperity does not last forever, but neither does hardship. Wise people always prepare during good times to survive the difficult ones. Bees understood this millions of years ago. Humans sometimes forget. The turning point: how the village started to transform. After some time, something interesting happened in the village. The farmers began to focus more on their work instead of complaining. The craftsmen began to improve their skills, bit by bit, every day. The traders began to build long-term value instead of seeking quick money. They started living by the 3 rules of the bees. 1. Focus on the nectar. 2. Progress a little bit every day. 3. Prepare for the future. Years passed. The village gradually became prosperous, not by luck, not by sudden opportunity, but because they learned the silent discipline of the bees. The final lesson. One evening, Leo, now a grown man, returned to the old tree. The beehive was still there. The bees were still flying in and out, ceaselessly working, ceaselessly building. Leo smiled, for now he understood. The secret of the bees is not the honey. It is the persistence. Success rarely belongs to the fastest. It belongs to those who keep flying, no matter how long the journey. Just like the bees. So the next time you see a bee flying from one flower to another, remember this. Every small effort today can become the honey hive of your future. You don't need to change your whole life in a day. Just every day, take one small step forward, just like the bees. If this story made you think, please take a second to like this video. And if you enjoy short stories that carry deep life lessons, subscribe to the channel, because every day we bring you new stories that can change the way you see the world. And before you go, leave a comment. Which lesson from the bees impressed you the most? I would love to read your thoughts. See you in the next story.